Hello everyone. Today I want to talk to you about hidden patterns that can be spotted in the market and that tend to repeat themselves. These are known as fractals. Now, the definition of fractals in crypto trading is repeating market patterns. This will typically be through triangle patterns or U-shaped, V-shaped patterns. We're going to see some different examples. As for the application, okay, spotting fractals in the charts will allow you to better predict and estimate what will happen next, especially once you start spotting one or two fractals or more. And of course, you can build your trading strategies around that. Okay, so if the fractal is completing or in the process of completing, you can typically, long the asset if it's a bullish fractal. However, if all of a sudden the fractal fails, then that's going to be an opportunity to short because it usually means that there's a very, very big pattern break. So we're also going to look at an example of that in a second, okay? But fractals help us see the next expected moves. I went ahead and drew on the Bitcoin chart here. Just in the recent few months, we had several fractals appearing. Now you see this first little triangle, okay? This is known as a pennant pattern we talked about in a previous video. You can go ahead and check that out. So we spotted a pennant pattern on the actual Bitcoin chart. Okay, this is a smaller triangle type pattern. And I want to just ask you, do you see any other pennants on the chart? I'll go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, so we know we've spotted our first one. Okay, so whenever you spot an important, clearly defined pattern, doesn't matter if it's big or small, you should definitely mark it down on your chart because this will help you spot fractals. Okay, well, you might have noticed that right here, we had a very, very similar, almost identical, right? Because that's the definition of fractal. They are near identical, repetitions of the same market pattern. And not only are identical, right, but they're actually going to be repeating, meaning that they're going to happen over and over again. If you keep looking at the chart, you should spot another one right up here. Now, what's pretty crazy with fractals is not only is the pattern extremely similar in terms of the shape and size, but even the estimated price moves higher or lower in the case of bearish fractals are going to be near identical as well, or as pretty much close as you can get to that. Okay, extending this out to the next high with the date and price range tool, that first move took 9 days. It was a 20%. On the next breakout, we had, once again, a 21% move. And look at that, guys. Look at the accuracy of these fractals, okay? Very, very similar price move here. Once again, and drawing that out a third time, we have, once again, a almost 20% move. Even the amount of days that it took is fairly similar, between 3 and 10 days. And this is truly the power of fractals, guys. And it's just something that happens naturally in the markets, right? Traders tend to repeat certain patterns. Now, what I thought was really interesting is even a little bit beforehand, we had actually been building up some fractals. Now, they were much smaller, right? But we had, especially this one, right? There was a smaller one before, but this one right here did, again, right, cause a 26% price move. So that might have been your first hint right there if you'd spotted that. Regardless, if you would have caught this one right here, which is a little bit more clearly defined, you would have had many opportunities to play these fractals and to long the breakouts. Now, you might be wondering, is there a minimum amount of fractals that have to appear? Is there a max amount? No, there isn't particularly. Of course, usually you need at least two of the pattern. You can already maybe start longing on the second one if it's clearly defined. But typically, right, you're going to have about 2 to 4 fractals forming, right? You might sometimes, in very rare scenarios, have a bit more, but usually between 2 and 4 is a good amount of fractals to expect. And let's just go ahead and quickly take a look at an alternative scenario, which will also be a very good lesson. Like I said, they come in all shapes and sizes. These were fractals that were building up on a much longer time frame, multiple months of the fractals building. So we had our first U-shaped formation. We pull back, and then right after we start entered another almost identical in terms of the bottoming area, and even the high eventually was almost identical. Now, one of the key things is we had an initial bullish target of 0.75 on this second fractal, and we came very close, right? Almost hit that on the dot, guys, 0.74. However, we did not break out of this fractal. We actually failed the fractal, Now, once again, this depends on what you're considering in terms of the word fail, right? If you had taken the neckline a little bit lower, the fractal actually hit pretty perfectly. But technically, we didn't hit the 0.75 cents, and we then hardly rejected and actually lost the fractal. So the moment we lost the fractal was right over here. And not only had we pulled back from the highs, but take a look at how aggressive the drop was, guys. In just 9 days, we dropped 30%. So the moment that we lost the fractal, right? So we failed the U-shaped pattern a second time, meaning that the fractal did not complete. We saw a very aggressive drop to the downside. This was a great short opportunity. And the reason why it was such an aggressive drop lower is because fractals usually repeat themselves, but not always, right? Sometimes they will fail. So even when they fail, it's a great short opportunity. But when they do complete, it is a long opportunity. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. If you want to learn more about trading and be part of the best crypto trading community out there, please check out the Mastermind Trade Club Telegram community down in the description below. There will be a link. Make sure to check that out. Thank you for watching.